Magandang araw, ang aking tatalakayin ay about conference diplomacy. So, ano nga ba ang conference diplomacy? Conference diplomacy can be defined as that part of the management of relations between governments and of relations between government and intergovernmental organizations that takes place in international conferences. So, ang conference diplomacy, it is any meetings between representatives of different national governments, whether between diplomats, delegates, or head of states, or any other officials or public servants of different government. Dito sa conference diplomacy, tinatalakay or dinidiscuss yung joint interest ng bawat bansa. Nagpo-focus din dito sa pag-promote ng general peace throughout the world. What makes conference diplomacy unique is its intention to strengthen relationship in multilateral level. So, yung conference diplomacy, di siya basta-basta event, bagkus planado ito. Nangangailangan ito ng maayos at kooperasyon ng bawat bansa dahil ang main purpose ng conference is to hear out the issues and concern of certain country. Noong 1960, mas kilala ang conference diplomacy bilang global conference. Hindi ito kasing organized ng mga international meetings ngayon. Ginaganap ang mga meetings para sa isang specific purpose, pero dahil sa palitan ng mga idea, natutumpok na rin nila yung pinakasanhi ng problema sa kapaligiran, kahirapan at cultural misunderstanding. Next, it covers not only public meetings but also private. Often, informal meetings held before, during, and after international conferences. Diplomats are rarely dominant in conferences where the primary role is played by politicians. So, mas nagdo-dominate ang government officials kaysa sa diplomats dahil nga ang purpose ng conference ay palakasin ang relasyon ng bawat bansa kaysa gumawa ng mga bagong treaty. Next, multilateral diplomatic negotiations that take place in international conferences, but without the participation of all actors in negotiation. Pag sinabing multilateral diplomatic, kailangan present lahat ng leader ng country kasi as signatory yon. So, present lahat ng leaders ng bawat bansa, pero may pili lamang na magsasalita to say their concerns and issues sa bansa nila.
So hello class, I am here today to discuss about economic diplomacy. So in definition, it is the use of the full spectrum of economic tools of a state to achieve its national interests. It includes international economic activities which influence exports, imports, investments, lending, aid, free trade agreements, etc. So basically guys, ang economic diplomacy, it refers to the endeavors and advocacies ng isang sending state ng kanilang business or economic interest sa receiving state. So, example natin dito ay ang economic ties between Iraq and US. So, ang US gusto nilang mag-establish ng leverage or influence sa oil-rich countries sa Middle East. So, pasok dito yung Iraq. And in the early phase of the 21st century, nagkaroon sila ng mutual agreement na kanilang inupuan. Nagkaroon sila ng discussion, ng conference, at pagkasunduan nila na magkaroon ng economic exchanges. So, pag-usapan natin yung proposals. Yung proposals ng US sa Iraq is the increase of exports in particular towards new markets, by favoring the creation of value-added goods, resorting to Iraqi skills, qualification, and expertise, working in foreign countries, attracting more tourists in the country, and promoting Iraq among future students, in particular for national sub-Saharan African countries. So, ilan lang to sa mga proposals ng US na tinanggap ng Iraq para magkaroon ng economic ties between the two countries. So, in return, nagkaroon ng established oil companies, American companies sa Iraq. At kasama na dito yung Occidental Petroleum na nakabase sa Jhobel oil field, kung saan isa sa mga major player ng industrial activities sa US ngayon. And next is the influence in economic and commercial policies of the host countries to make them most conducive for the country's national interests, which include trade of business and other stakeholders. So dito naman, kailangan magkaroon ng economic or magandang environment in both parties. Kailangan nilang mag-establish ng security and free from threats na community and environment bago magkaroon ng mutual agreement. So kasama na rin to sa conference na nabanggit ko kanina. So next is work with rule-making international bodies for shaping their decision in the interest of the diplomats of the visiting country. So dito naman, kung mayroong incongruities or mayroong hindi pagkakaintindihan ang dalawang countries, pwede silang kumuha ng middleman baga or host country. Pwede rin dito yung NGOs or international bodies. Pwede dito yung World Trade Organizations para i-cater ang measures ng agreement or ng conference na isasagawa. So susunod is forestall potential conflicts to minimize business risks. So dito naman, kung mayroong threat sa economic community, sa global market, ito ay aaksyonan ng international bodies or union of countries para ma-minimize ang mga ganoong threat. So take for example natin ang North Korea. Ang North Korea ay mayroong nuclear activities sa East Asia, at ang East Asia ay isa sa mga pinakamalaking economic hub ng mundo. Nandun yung syempre yung Hong Kong, South Korea, Japan, and China, and also the threat encompasses as far beyond the region, including Southeast Asian countries. So hindi pa kasama dyan pala yung maritime trading. So kasama din doon sa threat na nai-impose from North Korea. So dahil dito, dumulog ang affected countries sa UN or the mas nakatataas na international body, at mula doon ay nag-impose sila ng trade embargo at economic sanctions sa North Korea para ma-refrain ang activities that impose threats to the economic to the community of nations. So in conclusion, economic diplomacy plays a vital role in global politics.
Nuclear weapons are the most dangerous weapons on Earth. Any use of nuclear weapons would invite massive retaliation. One can destroy a whole city, potentially killing millions, and jeopardizing the natural environment and lives of the future generation through its long-term catastrophic effects. The dangers from such weapons can arise from its very existence. Since not all countries have the means to have nuclear weapons, nuclear diplomacy was integrated. Nuclear diplomacy deals with prevention of nuclear war and peacetime proliferation. It also deals with the use of threat of nuclear warfare to achieve diplomatic goals. This means that the nuclear weapon states or the states was officially recognized possessing nuclear weapons such as China, France, United Kingdom, United States, and Russia had an agreement to retain their special status and preventing other countries in acquiring nuclear weapons. And this is called the Treaty of Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, commonly known as Non-Proliferation Treaty or NPT. The Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons have an objective to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and technology, to promote cooperation into peaceful uses of nuclear energy, and to further the goal of achieving nuclear disarmament and general and complete disarmament. No first-use policy is a commitment to never use nuclear weapons first under any circumstances, whether as a preventive attack or first strike or in response to a nuclear attack of any
No
kind.
first-use policy would be an important step forward in making nuclear weapons irrelevant to the national security. Its commitments would immediately make the world safer by resolving uncertainty about what a nuclear-armed country might do in a crisis.
On August 5, 1963, representatives of the United States, Soviet Union, and Great Britain signed the Limited Nuclear Test Ban Treaty when prohibited the testing of nuclear weapons in outer space, underwater, or in the atmosphere.